Make up to break up. That's all they do. First you love him, then you hate him. That's a game for fools. Make up to break up. That's all they do. Hey, Lincolnberries. Uh-huh. Nephew. Amar Shaw. Mm-hmm. Heartstring. Did y'all see that bullshit over there, child? Okay. I got a little entertainment on yesterday. Hello, everybody. TLC in 3 and my 2 cents. Egyptian Goddess 1111 moderator. Thank y'all for coming in. Okay, if y'all want some entertainment, y'all have to go over there to James Caldwell's. Was it yesterday or the night before? I think it was last night. James Caldwell's video, I believe it's yesterday. Anyway, they had Brian and Jay Wilson over there going at it. He had several people on. I think the live was 3 or something hours. I've become aware of something recently. Apparently, many of these people don't like people to play any of their content at all. So I'm going to try to adhere to that out of respect. I know Rick Reed, I've never covered Rick Reed's live kind of thing, but I know he don't like that. He's always said that I do not like that. Don't play my content under any circumstances. I personally always like to catch me a little small taste so I'll know what the hell I'm talking about, and also keeps me on track. But apparently, so James is taking this up as well. He don't want anything to be played. So I will not play the encounter here out of respect for his wishes. But it was quite something to behold, because Jay Wilson has always used Brian as his whipping boy and kind of like someone to laugh at and make fun of, because he feels like he can dominate him because he has somewhere between 5 and 30 degrees. He feels that he should be able to handle these people in the beef sector, correct? But I think Brian brought him his hat on yesterday, because Jay Wilson, he likes to turn his microphone all the way up and drown people out. He will not let them finish a thought. He confuses them by screaming and yelling, right? But Brian brought that right back to him. Now, I wish they would allow me to play it. They don't want me to play it. I won't play it, right? But apparently, the discussion, they go back and forth. One day, they're talking nicely to each other. The next, break up to me. And then the next day, they're going back at it again, or they're fighting, arguing. Brian has no problem calling him a whole gang of bitches and hoes and things. And then Jay Wilson, who is supposed to be in such respected professions and so forth, doesn't seem to have a problem with constantly being cussed out. So he got cussed the fuck out again on yesterday, to where he was whispering at the end, because he thought he could turn his microphone all the way up, get all up in the microphone like this, and yell and scream at this dude, so he would just stop talking, right? And then Jay Wilson would pretend like, oh, I read him. Ooh, you see how I did him? You see how you haven't done shit to nobody, Jay Wilson. And the dude was making some very valid points, right? You've always got your ass hopping up in somebody else's business, giving them all the advice, bitch, and then you don't want them to say a goddamn thing about your own situation, or you don't want to say anything about your own situation. You say that's all your business. So your business is your business, and then our business is your business as well. Correct? You always want to send these younger people. Brian is what, half your age, child? You would think you would be able to have a reasonable conversation with him. So the situation was, we all know that Brian is still has some struggle with his sexuality. And sometimes that's what he talks about, because that's his channel. He can talk about whatever he wants to talk about, right? I would wish that he wouldn't consider his sexuality demonic, but that would be my own personal opinion. There's no reason for me to speak on it, right? But Jay Wilson, he wants to go over there. Oh, you a demon. So you said you were a demon, huh? You said you. So, and then he does all that. And then he goes into when Brian comes out and his self-love and all this shit that he talks about. He talks about his religion. Oh, Jehovah Witness. You know, he got to make fun of the name of Jehovah Witness, whatever. Like people, he doesn't even have respect for other people's religions, correct? So Brian brought it to him and he confronted him with saying, well, listen, Jay Wilson, did I come at you when you were coming on here as a 50-year-old man, girl, and so had to be forced out by Wiley? Right? Well, how do you have all this perfect understanding of when a person should come out or how they should feel about themselves or all this stuff that you're accusing me of or putting on me when you was 50 years old? Now Jay was talking about, oh, I've been outside with 24. I was outside with 20. Out to who, Jay was? And what is out? What do you mean you out? Because you sucked a dick at 24? Is that when you first began to juggle those balls in your jaws? And you think because you was juggling them, that means you were out? No, you hid in the closet, Jay Wilson, for all of your lifetime. The job that just one of the most recent jobs that just fired you, right? Apparently, they had no knowledge at all that you were of the homosexual persuasion, because you said they don't allow no homosexuals here. And that's why they fired me. They said because I lied. They said it's because I lied. They found out that you were homosexual because that dude in New Mexico called them and told them and showed them what you really are, and they immediately fired you, girl. That means you've been in the closet at work. Obviously, you were in the closet with your family. They had no knowledge, girl. Who were you out to, Jay Wilson? But the point is, it was your decision, girl. Right? You came on here with being a phony bitch. Oh, even though everybody on here knew that you was a queen, you were talking about, I don't lead out. I don't lead out with my sexuality. And now you just, oh, child, oh, honey, oh, you hear what she said, girl? I said, well, goddamn, Jay Wilson. How you're not drawing a line into when you came out on YouTube? You continually say that this is not my real life. This is not my real life. What do you consider to be your real life, Jay Wilson? My name is Timothy Blaine. I am currently sitting in a chair in my living room. I am speaking into the computer. I'm doing a live video. That's my real life. That's what I'm doing right now, girl. Why you keep trying to separate all your bullshit and put it in some other category? Like, oh, this is not my real life. This is not my real. You don't have a real life. When would you have time to have a real life, Jay Wilson? If you're on here for 5 and 6 and 7 hours a day, girl, then you're going there and you're driving Uber for 5 hours a day, girl, and then you're going to squeeze in a temporary assignment, girl. When do you have time for a real life? And who are you having this real life with? Correct? So he is correct. You did come out on here. This is just another phase of your real life, Jay Wilson, right? Another, I don't know, something else you do, girl. Whatever you do is your real life. When you go to work on a temporary assignments, because you are still a temporary worker, even though you're almost 60 years old, when you go on those temporary jobs, that's your real life. You're sitting at a desk typing. That's your real life, girl. If you go to a drive-through and get you one of this good coffee. Ooh, this coffee is good. Ooh, that's your real life. Whatever you're doing, girl, that is your real life. You are not a character. There is no script, girl. You're not being paid by any network of shit. Correct? It is your real life. But there are a couple of other things that I found interesting about this encounter on yesterday. He also brought up, well, you've been with Mark for 5 years, so you say. So he says, girl, we don't know what the fuck that is. More than likely, that's his girlfriend. He said, well, why don't you live with your husband after 5 years? You're still dating after 5 years in the gay world? We don't date that long, honey. You're still dating? Oh, yeah. So why aren't you moved into each other's and live together, right? That's a reasonable question. It's been asked many times of you. Correct? I guess that's your real life, right? Oh yeah, we got two houses, we got two homes, we got two homes. You don't have two homes. He has his home where he lives, and you have your hail. You live separately. You have separate lives. You're not conjoining any kind of finances. Obviously, the boy may be stupid, but he's not that goddamn stupid to be mixing any finances with your ass, particularly when he does not live with you. That was reasonable as well. You trying to make it like, oh yeah, I got a key and he got a key. I got this nigga is so ridiculous. And Brian read his ass. So I was surprised. I said, Brian is getting better. See, Brian is a much younger person than either me or Jay Wilson. He's a much younger person. But the things that he was saying, they were not foolish, silly shit like Jay Wilson does, child. He was actually making good points and landing them, right? What he's essentially saying to you is, listen, you don't know my life. You don't know a goddamn thing about my life. How you going to tell me about child molestation? What do you know about it, Jay Wilson? Did you bring your raggedy ass on here, girl? And when the conversation was something about a molestation, girl, you said, oh, this preacher man, he went into that church and he touched my arm. He touched my arm. Now we got 150 people sitting right there in front of where he touched his arm. Oh, I feel so uncomfortable. I said so uncomfortable. Oh, it was a molestation. That was not molestation, Jay Wilson. You have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Just like you don't know anything about anything else, girl. You go on here, you talk about people's health concerns and thing. You don't know nothing about it, Miss Thing. You barely even know anything about the gay life because you only start participating in the last few months. Mostly, you were sneaking and creeping, girl. You what you call a sneaker creeper. You a sneaker creeper. You go and play around at the church. You go and play around in seminary. You go and play around on the job. You play around your family. And then you sneak out late at night. You do your best work late at night, right? And you go over there and you go into somebody's car and sucking on their balls and shit, girl. Oh, I don't do that. Oh, I don't do that. I got a partner. Then we hear the goddamn bells going off on your live, girl, because you can't even turn it off just in case you get lucky. Because we all know that when you're in your 50s, girl, that bell ain't going off nearly as much as it used to in your 20s, those years that you wasted hiding in the closet, girl. I'm just saying, Jay Wilson, I thought the boy did a remarkable job of checking your punk ass. I think he's a much younger person than you. You're so educated and so smart, right? And you're such a reader, girl. When somebody punches your ass back, you cower. Am I right or am I wrong? Y'all go over there and watch the end of Treasure Lane's page. I think he's saying that he don't want nobody to play it. I don't know why, because all it does is circulate your stuff, girl. People go look at it. But whatever. Everybody gets to choose what they want to choose. So, yes, I think it's not perfect that Brian is still having so many problems with his sexual identity and so forth. But we've all been through it. Some people have been through it at 13. Some people have been through it at 18. Some people still going through it in their 20s. Girl, it depends on what your circumstances are, child. And let him have his process. So Brian's big argument was, what? How are you going to dictate what my process is? And how you got so much to say about my personal life, girl? If you don't want to listen to it, bitch, turn it off. That's what you do about that. That's what that is. You're not going to control what I say. You're not going to control what I think, bitch. And you certainly wasn't in the room when somebody put their goddamn hands on me as a child. He touched my arm. He touched my arm. To insert yourself into conversations you've never had, Jay Wilson. You never lived, girl. You hung around that trailer until it was time to leave the trailer. You went into the college classes. There was government assistant, girl. And you hung around there and hung around there and hung around there without any knowledge. You didn't gain any knowledge, Jay Wilson. Speaking to you is not like speaking to an educated person. I've never got that impression. I've talked to all kind of people, girl. Right? Those are not my favorite kind of people, but I've certainly been able to hold a conversation with pretty much anybody, girl. And there's nothing about you that impresses me as this is an educated person I'm talking to. So obviously you didn't learn anything for however long you stood around these classes, girl. You simply read the damn book and then reported on it. And we don't know how to what extent any of that was, because we know that you lie about every goddamn thing. Why would you be telling the truth about your education, girl? You don't. You should sound, honey. You show some signs. There are no signs. You're still driving a goddamn Uber cab, girl. You couldn't even get a job as a cab driver. You had to wait till they came up with the Uber cab where you drive your own car. Correct, Jay Wilson? He made several points. He says because you want a big house, that don't mean everybody else wants a big house. They might not even thought of a big house, girl, because they ain't got no purpose. What the fuck am I going to do with a big house, girl? I'm a single person. Nobody's ever going to live with you. No one's ever going to love you. And I am telling you, no one's going to love you. You're the worst man we ever known. There's no way we can ever grow. Darling, no way. No way. No, they're living with you. Oh. Big old house for what, girl? I don't understand that, Miss Thing. That's what happens when you are raised in a goddamn trailer, Miss Thing. As simple as that. You dreamed about getting out that trailer for your entire life, girl. Nobody in your family had ever escaped the trailer, correct? And you think this is the ultimate brick. This is the yellow brick road, is to have a big house in the suburbs of San Antonio. So his point is correct. Now, all the people, all the gays, at least, I can only speak about what I know. California, almost none of them have a big house, girl. Single men, no. Many times when they get married, they may get a house, or there are gay people who want to raise a family and they'll get a big house, right? Or they're very wealthy people, they're successful people. Of course, they're going to have a house, but the majority of single men live in either a studio or one bedroom apartment. It is the fact in San Francisco. It is the fact in Los Angeles, West Hollywood. It is the fact in New York City. I'm sure it's the fact probably in Chicago, although it's significantly cheaper. I'm just saying, girl, we don't all have the same dreams. And many times these guys, they might want to get them a fancy sports car. They had their own dreams or what they desire, Jay Wilson, correct? So he made the point of, girl, why do I have to want what you want? How y'all doing? Child, he found out about an opportunity to get in a HUD house. When Deanna Irving brought that paperwork there, I was floored, girl. I said, look at this. Only thing I could see on the goddamn paperwork was HUD, 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 HUD. HUD is on the mortgage, girl. So HUD mortgage, girl. It is government assistance. You're so obsessed with government assistance, Miss Thing. And you say, oh, I can move to San Antonio and I can get me a HUD house, girl. And then I can come on here pretending I'm successful. Well, the average person will say, girl, exactly what are you successful at? I mean, what do you do? Do you have a business? Can I come down to your hardware store and buy something? You said you're successful at something, Jay Wilson, and you're not. But it wouldn't make any difference to anybody, girl. You have a right to live your own life, just like this kid has the right to live his own life. I have a right to live my own life. Everybody gets their own goddamn life to live, Jay Wilson. You're constantly comparing, trying to take to your mind that I don't live in the trailer. I don't live in the trailer. How y'all doing today? Happy, what's day? Sunday? He over there trying Jay Wilson over there singing the church music, girl. Just like I said about that, Jay Wilson. You came in here lying and talking about you some kind of singer. You some big singer, right? You ain't never had no record. You ain't never recorded on nothing, right? You are a church musician. That's why you went and played for a funeral on yesterday. We don't know where you have your ad up, or do you have it ad up at the funeral home or whatever kind of thing. But what you're hired to do is to play the piano. If they have to suffer through you singing something, girl, they are putting up with that because they need a church musician, Jay Wilson, right? But you've made all this thing about everyone else's accomplishments. You've had this thing about always trying to put down all black people, girl, like they all supposed to be all Donald Trumps, girl. As I've said so many times, Jay Wilson has so many his characteristics of Donald Trump. Now he ain't got no money. Honey, he barely makes the mortgage. If he makes, I don't know if he made it this month, but he barely even makes the mortgage. But that doesn't mean that you can't have those same characteristics of a narcissist. You can be a narcissist with $1 billion, or you can be a narcissist making $100 a week. That's what level he's on, right? So you were amazed when that boy read the shit out of you yesterday, Jay Wilson. I was so proud. I said, you're getting smarter. You're getting better at this, Brian. You are. Now you will come to whatever conclusions you come to as in life as at your own time. We can't determine how somebody's going to feel, what they're going to feel, what they're going to go through. And we certainly don't know the situation. Let me tell you something. I was molested. I was 11 years old by a real pedophile, a child molester. But at that time, I already knew that I was gay. I don't feel like it had a profound effect on me. But when you take a person who is not already identified as a homosexual, you take a regular kid and you put your stinking hands on that child, you could cause damage that will be with him for years, confusion, because he would say, well, I liked it. Does that mean I'm a homosexual? And they may question that for years. That's why you don't put your goddamn stinking ass hands on no goddamn underage person, or certainly not a child. Correct? And people do get confused. And people do have, go to psychiatrist then. Go to psychiatrist. Take your ass to the psychiatrist, Jay Wilson. And what the psychiatrist is going to tell you, sir, is essentially you have wasted your entire life. You've wasted your entire life, Jay Wilson. You said you're going to have this big career. I assume that's the reason why a person would keep going and getting degree. They would have some kind of plan, some kind of something you want to be. Do you know where you're going to? Do you like the things that life has shown you? Where are you going to? Do you know? Will you get what you're hoping for? No, because your mind was confused. You thought that being successful was buying a house. And we know why that was, because it was the cause of the goddamn trailer, girl. You sat back there on the dock of the bay, honey. You were sitting on the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll and saying, someday, I'm gonna live over there, mama. I'm gonna live over there. I'm gonna have my own bed. Mama. And that was your dream, Miss Thing. But that's not, no, girl. Having a big house is a byproduct of your work. Right, Jay Wilson? So what do you do exactly? Can you tell us now? I mean, you got, 6 more years before retirement age. Have you figured out exactly what you are yet, Jay Wilson? I'm just curious. You said my career is I'm a failed interior designer. That's what you said, right? Couldn't have told me, honey. Okay, what does it say? Leave site. What? I hit the wrong button. Oh, Lord. How y'all doing? I know he said, oh, Timothy, you saying the same shit about him. It ain't gonna change. That's what he is, honey. I'm sorry that Brian had to bring it to him, honey. Hand him his hat. Trezor don't want me to play it. I sure play it, baby. That's some good eating there, honey. And what he does is, since he started reading him so much, when you come to YouTube, there's an accumulation of information people have about you, right? So Brian reads you better because he has more information about you, Jay Wilson. All of you, we all know about Wiley. We all know about that. Well, we all have our own idea about this Mark character, this person that you met online, and then 2 weeks later, you were telling us that you have a partner, right? He knows the details of that circumstance, Jay Wilson. And what we have to go by is you don't live with this person. If you were in love with a person for 5 years and you are both single and both grown men, then you would have a desire to live together, especially when you only have a certain amount of time left. Girl, that man has no desire to live with your punk ass. He's not even going to give up his apartment for that. Right, Jay Wilson? You should have stopped and started worrying about making up these stories, girl, about how I got a partner. I got a partner. That speaks to you worried about Brian's internalized homophobia. I'm sure that's how you would define it, right? Why is it that every time someone brings up your homosexuality, you go hollering about how you got a partner, how you saying gender loving, you saying you're everything except a plain old regular old dick sucker, right? We just have to assume that you're sucking them because you don't have a lot more to work with, Jay Wilson. I mean, I hate to say it. You can't put in no work, boy. Come on, right? All you can do is gobble, gobble, bitch. Hey, Jaylyn M. He really does, nephew. What you saying? Let me see what you're saying. It's a damn shame people got to read this fool every day. He'll throw himself out in front of these buses just to get a goddamn few dollars, child. Right? He's still over here pretending about, oh, I'm gonna get my AdSense. Oh, I'm gonna get this money. I'm gonna go build me a Walgreens value. That tells you what a broke ass bitch you are, girl. Because most of these people have a job. If they work at McDonald's, girl, if they work at McDonald's, they get more than you getting from AdSense, this thing, right? I mean, it's just what you're making this big, huge thing, all this, but like to try to trick yourself that you've done something successful in your life. It is not. It is failure, girl. It is dismal failure. But you can't stop bragging about it, girl, about how wonderful and fabulous it is and all this shit. After you burnt these people out and you took all their money, you scammed them, Cash App Palooza, fake ass trips, girl, where you hide in the library. We just seen so much of your character, Jay Wilson, and you're still out on here acting like a little girl. No offense, ladies, because you are real girls. He's not. Right? This is the way you read people. You read them like 12, like a 12-year-old child. Look at your teeth. Oh, look at your teeth. Oh, look at my teeth. Look at my teeth. You're a doctor? Let me see. On this lovely side. Oh, it's got some beautiful weather here today too, Jaylyn. We had a rain for almost all the whole week. And now it's gorgeous. I get the best content when it comes to Jay Wilson. He's such an easy person to read, honey. To think that this doctor would still be hanging around here on beef sector, girl. I mean, most of the people have moved on. They cover other things. Have y'all heard Jay Wilson try to cover politics? You're pitiful. Pick up the money. Pick up the $4 and $3, girl. I'm getting my cash app. I'm getting, they jealous of me. They jealous. Fucking fool. Girl, I make more on my paper route than I make on this goddamn YouTube, honey. Hi, Jay Boss. I ain't seen you in a minute. Never take sides, but listening to them read and serve. Go ahead and catch that one with over there on Treasure Lane page, J Ball. It's very amusing because we didn't expect Brian to be hitting that hard, but he was rock 'em, pop 'em, pop 'em, pop 'em, shout bitch, pop 'em, pop 'em, pop 'em. Ooh, that was a good one. Oh, that was a good one. Leave me alone. Tear that ass up, baby. Because he's an easy person to read. It's very easy. You catch him in all those lies and shit. Oh, somebody gave me a coin. What is this here? Thank you, Egyptian goddess 1111. I appreciate you. Mm-hmm. He does misspell words. Does he mispronounce and misspell words? He's constantly misspelling words because he's from that goddamn trailer park. And then he comes and say, oh, not glory. I said glory. Oh, not, you got to correct the word like, oh, I'm really smarter than this. This is just what I'm saying. This is just how you talk, nigga. Right? And did we get another example of Jay Wilson cussing and calling people? Did you call somebody a bitch 30-something times, Jay Wilson? You call that woman the Negro goddess woman. You call her a bitch 30-something times, girl, in a 10-minute video. That's who you are, Jay Wilson, you little phony creature. Why don't you take the top shirt, and if you want to blend in with the fellas, with the ladies and gentlemen over here, child, take off that stupid ass tie in your thumbnail, right? Who are you trying to impress? Ain't nobody over here wearing shirt and tie. Take off the tie. Also, take the doctor off of your name, and take the pastor. We don't know where that came from. This whole pastor thing has been a tremendous joke. I don't know why Brian keep calling that fool a pastor. He's never been a pastor of anything. He's simply a paid church musician because he learned how to play. That's it, honey. He ain't never been nobody's pastor. He can't preach. He can't even talk intelligently. At best, he would be what you call a idolater, because he's made our God, the creator of the universe, he's reduced him to a book. With the words, see, with the words, but you don't adhere to anything in the word. You simply make an adjustment to fit in, get in where you fit in, right? Oh, I don't believe that part. I don't believe that part. So we all just pick out the parts. So Brian does make a point there. I mean, it's not my point, because I'm not an idolater, right? I believe that God is God, and we ain't never going to understand God. And I think it's arrogant to think you can read a book and then you know God. You don't know God. You may experience God. Every time you take a breath in, you're experiencing God in his atmosphere, honey. But you don't know shit based on some book you read. Oh, I went to seminary. They didn't go to seminary. They don't know the context. They don't know, girl, and you don't know it either. Or it doesn't mean anything to you, right? Mm-hmm. Big old house at 22. I catch your ribby. Child, when y'all leave your mama house, y'all know the vast majority of us move into an apartment, right? Because that's what we need. We need a place to lay down. We need a place to eat. We need a place to entertain. And we'll move into a one bedroom apartment, 2-bedroom apartment. If that person has a child, then that space will start to feel smaller. If the woman, let's just say the woman, was to get a husband, now there's 3 of them in the house. Do they need more space? What they're doing is they're getting what they need, right? If you're going to raise a family, then you need a house. You need bedrooms. You need places for the children to play in. You need a backyard, but you don't need that as a single person, Jay Wilson, right? And quiet is kept. If you didn't get the hood, if the hood didn't get you in there for 3% down, girl, you wouldn't even be in one, honey. Right? But you are locked in to San Antonio. Right? You're a single man. You still have some life in you if that age that you give us is the real age, girl. You can still go and live in Los Angeles. Oh, I lived in this here. I lived there. I lived. Really? How long did you live there, Jay Wilson? Or were you is this just something because when you were a flying waiter, you had to be in that town, therefore you had to share a space with some other pilot, some other stewardess, excuse me. Jay Wilson, you're tied to the suburbs of San Antonio for the rest of your goddamn life. Correct? Jay Wilson? Why would you want to be tied to a house working 4 and 5 and 6 jobs, girl, just to try to stay ahead of this mortgage? Because to me, I think it's rather pitiful that you can't come up with the HOA fee because you're not in like a high rise. In a high rise where they're paying for doormen and all kind of maintenance crews and all this kind of shit, the HOA could be $1,200 a month, right? It could be very high if you live in a high rise or some glamorous complex or something, right? And then it goes down as if it's in a condo building or whatever, it goes down, right? But to have a house, that HOA ain't that high. They don't charge you that much just to cut your grass, girl. You couldn't even pay that. You couldn't pay it to the extent that they had to put a lien on your house. That's saying you cannot sell this house until you pay us. Which tells me, Jay Wilson, you ain't been paying them people since you got up in there, girl. Right? Oh, they said my church was on my lease. They said they didn't say shit. They simply looked at the document and read it. Jay Wilson, right? But that would be your business if you didn't make it our business because we didn't care. Why would I care about your house or where you live, girl? I don't give a fuck if you live in the studio, which is where you belong. I don't give a fuck where you live, girl. Nobody does. Right? You're so anxious to brag to somebody, girl. And for somebody to be impressed with you. Just be grateful that your parents, I guess one is still alive, didn't live to see the day of all of the they didn't give you no money, did they? I don't imagine they had too much money living in a tin can. But whatever, all they put into you, all the wasted years, girl, you told them you're gonna be this, you're gonna be that, and all that kind of stuff. They didn't live long enough to see what you've become. You've become a minstrel, a clown, right? You talk like a clown. You don't talk like an adult. You definitely don't talk like no damn doctor, and you don't talk like no pastor, right? Right? Because no matter what you say, you a pastor. Why would you even be interested in being a pastor, Jay Wilson? They are the reason that you hate yourself. I mean, for most of your life, right? What was your frame of mind when you were Brian's age? You just now coming out the closet now, and you are quite the queen. But what was your state of mind back then? I'm curious. Right? You have all the advice about somebody else's goddamn life. You should never speak on nobody else's molestation. Talking about, oh, I remember that pastor came there, and he touched me on my shoulder. He touched me. So I'm a victim too. I'm a victim. You don't know nothing about what you're talking about. You don't know. You went on and on and on, all about the drug life and all this. And you are under the impression that I was somehow miserable in the drug life. Nigga, you got life and bullshit fucked up together, girl. But you'll never understand it, right? Because we don't want to get on here and we don't want to be bragging about our drug life and how much drugs we made and all the sex we had and all that. I'm not gonna do no shit like that, right? But I don't want to encourage anybody else because they might not be suited for that life and they end up pushing the shopping cart. Correct? But the point is, I wouldn't have done what I did for 17 years if I hated it so much. Right? You got to try to make it like, oh, I didn't do drugs. I didn't do drugs. Why was I doing them, nigga? Every man gets to do whatever the fuck they want to do. They want to be married. They want to have children. They want to start a business. They want to be a professor. Whatever the fuck they want to do, they will pursue their dreams, honey. The pursuit of happiness. Where did you bring your ass on here? And you constantly picking on these people who you feel like you can pick on. You feel like they are lesser than you somehow or other, and you can pick on them and get away with it. They're, first of all, they're half your age, girl. So it brought me pleasure when I saw that boy whip your ass. I mean, them blows would just come, boom, boom, boom. Shut up, bitch. Boom, boom, boom. Grandmother was laying them on your ass, girl. Go ahead, Brian. Get him again. Get him again. Oh, he just being mannish. Just calm down. Okay, he should write a church pamphlet. I told him, he said he wrote what did he write? He wrote the college trap. I said, no, nigga, write the sequel, The Mortgage Trap. You can't go nowhere, bitch. Or you're borrowing money. Why you borrow that 12,000? Get them people back their 12,000, nigga. How much is the payment on the 12,000 that you borrowed 2 years ago, girl? Did you get caught up on them bills? Borrowing $12,000, nigga. You already got 2 mortgages. You done took a simple, easy situation like a HUD loan, girl. You had it going on. All you had to do is pay your HUD mortgage, which, baby, ain't no shame in having a HUD mortgage. It's a wonderful thing, girl. I'm so glad. That's why a lot of people are in homes right now. They started out with what they call it, beginner's loan, whatever. The HUD loan. You done compounded that damn thing in just 7 years, girl. You managed to fuck up your credit. You managed to fuck up the loans. You got 2 loans on this house now. You're way behind in your HOA, right? Because I don't think they're gonna let you go ahead and continue to pay on the HOA until you pay back all that money you owe them. Ain't no way in hell you gonna be caught up on HOA. You can't be caught up on it unless you pay them back all those whole 5 years you was behind. However the hell you finagled that, girl, till they put a lien on the goddamn house. You got to pay that, Jay Wilson. Right? Hold on a minute. Before I lose my chain of thought. He should write a church pamphlet. Yes. Oh, right, the college trap. Got it over there for $20. A damn pamphlet ain't worth but $1.50. He got it on there for $20. Wasn't it enough when you bled the people on YouTube, girl? Didn't they pay for the goddamn thing? Because you gonna get an editor. Oh, ain't gonna be no editor like Timothy Blade. Oh, my editor gonna be perfect. Your editor gonna be shit because she let you get away with 23 errors in the first paragraph, girl. We can only imagine what the rest of the goddamn thing looks like, Miss Day. Ain't nobody gonna go, honey. I'm telling you, I know I've told you before. There's no way I read books. I Kindle read them. There's no way in hell I'm pursuing any book with 23 errors in the first paragraph. That would immediately get put down, and not only put down, erased from my Kindle. That's a waste of time. It shows us how much time you put in this thing. You went in there when Wiley, I'll tell you again for you guys ones who are new here. When Wiley was working at the old people's, with the old people, right? Wiley needed a car to go to work, right? He was taking a bus. It was taking him hours to get to work. He was being late all the time. He needed a car. And so his subscribers this early in the Cash App times, Cash Apped him and helped him to get himself a vehicle to go to work, right? It was either 3 or 4 days later, Jay Wilson comes on announcing that he is writing his book. Correct. Oh, I got to work on the book today. Oh, I got to work on the book. He had those people pay for what he called an editor. Jay Wilson, they gave him $1,700 to hire an editor. He spent not a single dollar on no fucking editor. It was obvious by what he produced. Correct. Obviously, what he produced. About all these 50-year-old people on here, girl, they all want to read about getting into college. A pamphlet that only a 19 or 20-year-old would even be interested in reading. And if the 19 or 20-year-old was interested in reading a book about getting into college, I can assure you, they're not going to go to Amazon and pick out this $20 pamphlet when they have professors, real professors, who have written volumes of how to get into college, all the whole college experience. They have written volumes, girl, and that costs $3.99. These are accomplished professors. He comes on there with a little tiny ass pamphlet, girl, like something like a handout you give out, and he wants $20 for that. After the people done paid for the goddamn thing, they done paid for the editor, they done paid for the publishing, they done paid for every goddamn thing, including, I guess he called that advertising, girl. And after they paid for everything and paid for everything and paid for everything, he comes back and now he wants them to buy the book. Excuse me, that is an insult to book writers to call that thing a book. The pamphlet. He wants them to pay for it, and not only pay for it, but pay 7, 8, 10 times what it's worth. I like Jay Wilson so much. Look what Nikki said. He said, why you hate Jay Wilson so much? Why you hate Jay Wilson? I just think Jay Wilson is a horrible person. He's a terrible person, honey. And he's a phony. He's a fake person. And he attacked me. He attacked me. He tried to make me feel small. He tried to think that I'm some kind of incompetent because I did drugs, girl. All the difference between me and you, Jay Wilson, I tell the truth, girl. That is not a unique experience to Timothy Blaine. People who have done drugs. How in the fuck they calling it a billion-dollar organization if nobody does it but me? A lot of people did drugs, girl. A lot of people ate asshole. A lot of people done sucked balls and juggle balls in their jaws. They did all kind of shit, girl. They live, and all they doing is telling you about here's what life was for me. You can either read it or not read it, girl. But no, she wants to try to put me down. She said, "Oh, I didn't know he was on a fixed income. I didn't know he was on a fixed income." Miss Thing, what does that mean? A fixed income, bitch? That means my bills are always going to be paid. Isn't that what a fixed income is? Idiot. That boy is something else, child. To sit there and still, he got that damn college strap still up on Amazon, girl. That damn thing ain't sold no copies, honey. The only ones who bought that damn thing are the same ones who paid for it in the first damn place, child. So how much are they out? $50 a piece for a $1.50 pamphlet? We can't even go into all of the other scams. Since he's been here, it's been scam after scam after scam after scam, girl. Until they finally caught on and stopped giving her money. So now she just comes on 5 times a day. Let me see. Schizophrenia is real. I love when lyric pimp slap. Oh, you like that? I enjoyed that too. Schizophrenia is real. When that dog hauled off and slapped the piss out of him, he talking about, be quiet, lyric, be quiet. What, bitch? Slap the shit out of him. Oh, he just playing. He just playing. Stop it, dog. That dog whipped the shit out of your punk ass, girl. You can't even get along with a dog, Jay Wilson. That's bad. I'm sorry. It has to be said. That's bad. When your dog can't stand your ass. I have not seen so many negative videos made about anybody as Jay Wilson. Now he think that's getting over. Oh, I'm getting over. Look, I'm gonna get my AdSense checked. I'm gonna get my ass. Is there? Let me see. Let me try it. Is there any way to show what AdSense gives on your phone? I can show you. I can get it on my screen, but I don't know how to get it on my phone. I don't think I can do that from here. No, it'd be too complicated for me to figure. I'm gonna try to figure it out. And y'all not gonna believe what these damn videos bring, honey. That's why he's on 4 and 5 hours. No, if you had invested, I mean, come on, people. If you had went and got all these degrees, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is he on number 7 now, girl? He gonna be a mortician now too. If you had invested all this time would you be in your late 50s, girl, still driving Uber cab? I mean, working temp jobs. Temp jobs is somebody to come in. They don't have time to actually learn the job. When you call up for a temp, you're calling for somebody to just answer the phone. Just answer the phone. Hello, this is Morning Ride Donuts or whatever it is, girl. Right? Or somebody to do some light filing kind of thing. You're basically hiring placeholders, people who do not have to know the job. Correct? I mean, would you invest that much time for what? You can't do anything, Jay Wilson, because you're not a smart person, girl. Right? If you only had a brain. I can't imagine you doing debate. I invited him. I said, "You well, debate me then, Jay Wilson. Let's debate on the merits, honey." Oh, why would I debate you? Why do I? Because you were gonna expose yourself as being the idiot that you are. See? And no amount of pieces of paper is going to change that, Jay Wilson. I would say that, uh, judging by what I saw yesterday, Brian is smarter than you. He's smarter than you because he's 20 years younger than you. Okay, Jay Wilson. So how was you sounding 20 years ago? I can only imagine, girl. I can only imagine what it must have been like in your life. Mm-mm. Lyric didn't keep Mark at home. They didn't work. Are y'all gonna be, honey? I know many women have told these men they date, honey. Listen, we've been dating for 5 years. Okay, I want to have a family. We live across town from each other. This is not working for me. So either if you want it, then you got to put a ring on it. If you want it, then you got to put a ring on it. If you want it, then you got to put a ring. How you gonna have a partner? This is what he uses, partner. How you gonna? That's your husband, girl. And you still live. Oh, we got two houses, we got two homes. You don't got two shit, girl. I guess neither one of you mhm, wants to be the first to say farewell, Jay Wilson. Goodbye. If you on Growler and Grinder, then Mark's on Growler and Grinder. He's not sitting home waiting on your punk ass, girl. Right? He likes to drink. He likes to go out and party. He likes to shake his stuff, honey. Shake, shake, shake. Dun, 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 dun. Shake, shake, shake. Dun, dun, dun. Shake his booty. Shake his booty. Ow. When you you don't want to sit home with your punk ass girl, listen to all your goddamn lies and your dreams, girl. Right? Mark is out getting him some right now. Right now, girl. And then he'll come say, "Well, baby, maybe we should try a open relationship." Other words, nigga, I'll see you at the amusement park, punk. We can go to amusement park. Maybe a month later, we go to maybe let's try once a month. Mark is out there living his life, honey. Like you keep saying over and over again, he got his own job. Why would a grown man not have his own job, girl, or his own income thing? Why wouldn't he? He got his own place. He got his own. Why wouldn't he have his own place, girl? If you're supposed to have, the Bible say that the two, I could add it to men, women, lesbians, whoever the hell they are, two are become as one. That's relationship. That's when you say you got a partner. I got a partner, girl. That's what it means, Miss Thing. To have a partner, a partnership. We are together, right? Why would he be satisfied with still living across town 6, 7, 8 years later, girl? Right? He does not have any desire to live with you, Jay Wilson. That he little more than a piece of trade, and more than likely your girlfriend at this point. Right? Just somebody you know, just someone that you used to love. Mm. And because you done made such a big deal of lying about it, young girl, you got to stick to the lie. You got to keep pretending. Right, Jay Wilson? It might have been that stunt you pulled in Las Vegas was the last straw. When he saw you steal those people's accommodation, and that's supposed to be his birthday, you said you're going to take me to Las Vegas after we already broke up. You're going to take me to Las Vegas for my birthday. And he sat there across the aisle watching you at the counter rip those people off, act a goddamn fool with your murmuring and complaining and making demands on people, girl. That sealed the deal for. He said, ain't no way that I would ever live with a fool like that. Ain't no way. You probably get him over and try to get him to pay them credit cards, girl. Jay Wilson, have you got yourself enough credit built up yet that you can at least not be refused a cup of coffee? Do you remember that whole fiasco, Jay Wilson? You keep making this big production out of going through the drive-through, right? We heard, you didn't want us to hear it, but we heard that the card was rejected, right? You didn't have enough money on your debit card, girl, to buy a cup of coffee. Now that's pitiful, particularly when you're begging all goddamn day. You did, and then you went home and you said, "Oh, this is an old card. This is an old card." And you sat here and you had to make a big production of cutting your debit card up online, live online, girl, live online, until somebody actually saw the dates on the card. They said, "Well, that card is you got 3 more years with that card, Jay Wilson." There's no way you would not have known that, right? The number you're showing us, trying to pretend that it is that old card, that was actually what was it, the date or something? That was the date of today's date. That's today's date. You done cut the goddamn card up. Fool. I bought my washer and dryer. I paid cash for my washer and dryer. You got baseline washer and dryer, and you paid cash for it because they would not allow you to charge it. Why? Because you ain't got no money, nigga. Right? Every dime you can pull together goes for attempting to pay the mortgage. The first one or the second one, Jay Wilson. Right? You paid cash for the washer and dryer because you had to pay cash. That's the only way you would have a washer or dryer. Be real. Keep it real, honey. How embarrassing. Oh my God, it was horrible. Child, when that woman told her he couldn't even buy a cup of coffee. That's bad. Woo, that's bad, honey. Credit card or a cash app. Credit card or debit card. He ain't got a dime on nothing. And that's from after begging all day. They didn't cut the card up. He took his ass and cut it up, trying to impress us. Pitiful. Doctor. Pastor. Should be in bed. When are you going to say something pastory, Jay Wilson? Right? Because even if the situation where BRIIINE finds himself in at this particular stage in his life, child, you ain't said nothing to encourage that young gay person at all. You ain't trying to help nobody. Oh, look at you said that. Oh, you a demon. Oh, you a Is this how pastors perform? Wouldn't they consider this? Here's an opportunity, because BRIINE was coming on your page damn near every day, girl. Certainly every other day, right? But you don't see any opportunity to try to school or help or guide anybody. No, you don't see it that way because you do not possess a servant's heart. You simply don't have one. You could give a shit. It's a comedy to you. You said, this ain't my real life. This ain't my real life. So instead of encouraging or helping or trying to educate BRIINE in any way, you take that opportunity for this person who's on your page every other day to make fun of him, right? Go ahead and get a psychiatrist there. Get a psychiatrist there. Go ahead. So you a demon. You a demon. And I never heard this is what a pastor does. You don't even take advantage of the little small opportunities you have on YouTube to be an encouraging person. It's just not in you, Jay Wilson. There's nothing good in you, right? So here's my assignment for today. My hour is up. I want you to call Mark. I want you to invite him to a nice dinner, right? And you say, Mark, I love you. I want to marry you. Let's live together. Let's try it, Mark. Are you willing to? Hell, what the fuck is this? You can see the boy. He said, I got to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. I'll be right back this time. Really, I'm going to be right back. I'll be get the hell out of there, girl. I'm in love with you. I don't know why I love you. I don't know why I love you, baby. Yeah. Lord, how long must I be disgraced? Because I love you, love you, love you, love you. Ooh, don't know, baby. Because he's on a time clock too. He needs to find a real partner, child. If he is relational, then he wants to spend his time finding somebody real, honey, to be real. He's wasted enough time with you. I think that's why I was trying to have this story earlier. I was saying that many people will come to the point where it's either shit or get off the pot, because I don't have more years to waste with you. If it ain't going nowhere, I want to get off this train now, right? And that's where Mark is. Or he's probably been that way 5 years ago, and you just come on here like, oh, I ain't gonna bring him on. I learned my lesson. You're not gonna bring him on because you don't want any truth to slip out of his mouth. Am I right or am I wrong? Thank y'all for coming in. Oh, Nikki B, why you jumping on your boy over there? You said Jay Wilson got a needle, Dick. Oh my goodness. And that would be the benediction.